Welcome to a new daily top Askreddit video. Today's topic: what new game release are you looking forward to the most and why? Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. The world in that is one scale, and you can visit your house or wherever, literally any country, the smallest or biggest country ever. You can what? You can visit the biggest country ever. Cyberpunk 2077. And why? Cyberpunk 2077. Because something has to be more dystopia than 2020. Destroy all humans. Played the shit out of that when I was a kid. Can't wait for the remake. Is it completely remade or just a remaster? Completely remade. But as far as I know, it's basically the first game with much better graphics. Edit, the devs called it a remake. I'm just going based on what they said. Remaster original game with improved visuals. Remake based on original game but built from scratch on an improved engine without reusing assets from the original. Apparently some voice lines are reused though. Cabal Space Program 2. The first game was, and still is, amazing. The mechanics of the game, the way it teaches science while having fun, and its extremely wholesome community is extremely impressive. All of this came from a company not even dedicated to game development. The sequel. Developed by a proper game developing company. The developers are truly caring about the game, many of which have spent thousands of hours in the original. Building on the successes of the original while also adding a whole new dimension to the game. Amazing graphics, new planets, colonies, and multiplayer. How can one not be excited? In my astronautics class in college, people literally used it to simulate and check their homework for topics like Homer transfers and gravity assists. It's amazing how much it teaches you while still being incredibly fun. KSP taught me more about orbital mechanics than any educational source did prior. It just clicked, and every bit of sci-fi I knew suddenly divided into realistic or not. Elden Ring. Lore by GRM and made by FromSoft, who made my favorite game of all time. No gameplay shown yet, but I'm still looking forward to it. How badass was that dude disintegrating from the stress of whatever he was forging? Oh, so the game is about cooking. The next indie game which I become obsessed with, dig 200 hours into and then suddenly drop after I've sufficiently worried my friends and family. I don't know what it is yet. I just know it's coming. Did anyone say Factorio? Or Satisfactory, which is also highly addictive. Also, Terraria, Journey's End comes out this month. Just say 200 hours Factorio. That's Zen Master level self-control. Does Flight Simulator 2020 count as a game? Edit, well. Thanks for the platinum, gold and silver. Glad to see others are as excited as I am for this release. I'm really looking forward to it too. I'm curious of how comfortably it will be playing with Xbox Pad. And my internet connection, whether it would be enough to download the scenery while flying. I'd really love to take a 12H flight in this game at least once. They've confirmed the ability to cache area for offline play, so I'd imagine you could always do that if your internet isn't sufficient. Dying Light 2. I loved the first Dying Light, one of my favorite games still. I'd still play it, it's so good. Baldur's Gate 3 by Larian Studios. I loved Divinity 2 Original Sin and felt that its systems would work brilliantly for D&D. Turns out I was right, and it'll be the best RPG to come out in years. Edit, fixing typo. Second edit, gameplay of BG3 https u2.be/b9hu6ujx_pc. This game is going to be amazing. I can't wait. I've never looked forward to a game as much as I am looking forward to BG3. I am going to buy it the day it comes out and probably book time off work. Age of Empires 4. AOE was the first computer game I really got into, and I've enjoyed each installment since. AOE 3 and the expansions were a blast, so I've been checking in on news of AOE 4 every year or so for over a decade. Anyone who had the original hardcopy edition of AOE 3 knows that the included pamphlet had a teaser for 4, and that was like June 2005. That pamphlet showed an AOE 4 set around the World Wars. The current 4 being developed starts medieval again. Yeah, it's supposed to cover roughly the same time window as AOE 2. Like I said, I've been checking in on this game at least once a year for like 10 years, haha. My point is they let us all know that 4 was a possibility the moment 3 came out. But yeah, it was like a mid-20th century infantryman in the pamphlet. That era would be cool, but maybe too complicated with air units and explosions that cause massive area damage. Although I loved the original Empire Earth, which handled all of that pretty well. Ghost of Tsushima, just the setting and how vast an open world it's gonna be gets me excited. I think the fact that they are being historical and avoiding any magic / fantasy is refreshing and makes me curious about how the combat / dueling system is gonna work. I'm sad this was so far down on the list. I'm also extremely excited for this game. I loved Sucker Punch's infamous games, and they've been working on this game so long, I hope it's good. The E3 trailer from a couple years ago sold me on the game just from an aesthetic point of view. Looks like it's going to be Red Dead Assassin's Creed in feudal Japan. That's badass. Edit, wow, this comment blew up, well now it's higher up so I'm happy, haha. Elder Scrolls 6. Still have a while to wait, but damn if I'm not excited already. When you say a while, do you mean like 2024? Or 2021? 2030 no doubt. My guess is February the 22nd, 2022. I'm going to be honest, I don't think Bethesda has it in them. I think they are waiting forever to release it because they know the market for the TES6 is going to be brutal. The quality of open world games has increased dramatically over the years. I hope I'm wrong and that they do well with the game, but if the decline in quality of their titles heretofore is any indicator, I don't see it working well for them. I think it will sell well, but it will also be the last TES that sells well because it will be so poorly received ultimately. After FO4, I was skeptical but hopeful. After FO76, I have given up entirely on that company. I am so bitter about it. Morrowind was and is my GOAT game. It introduced me to modding, which got me into learning Java, which is the foundation of my career. I have a very deep and personal connection with early and mid Bethesda games. Even with FO4's flaws, I was willing to give the company the benefit of the doubt, but the transition to FO76 was so jarring and such a radical departure from the company I once loved, I hated them almost overnight. S6 will likely be a half-assed game riddled with game-breaking bugs, still use the same engine they've been milking, ship with half the content of Skyrim, and have a shop with endgame content locked behind a paywall, as well as Day 1 DLC. The shift from FO4 to FO76 is a huge indication of the direction the company has chosen to take, and they lost my support along the way. Terraria 1.4. It's not necessarily a new game release, but I think it still counts. 13 days to go. It's hard to believe it is finally happening. Ever since 2017 I've been like, man, I'll just wait to play. 1.4 is right around the corner. And it never came. Now, though we're less than 2 weeks away, it's just so good. Cyberpunk 2077, love the look of the gameplay so far, can see CD Projekt Red really making a masterpiece of a game. Main reason for it would be I love the aesthetics and possibilities within the game. This game has been in development since before May 2012. I hope it's good. If you've watched the 40-minute gameplay trailer you'd know it will be good. The only problems I can imagine happening are from people's PCs not being able to handle it. The sequel to Breath of the Wild. Bot W, the second open world game I've ever played, first being Minecraft, has interesting characters and a decent story with fun gameplay. I'm hoping the same, if not better for the second one. Same, as long as my weapon doesn't break every 30 seconds. Earlier game it's obnoxious. Late game it's not so bad. Master mode it's fucking atrocious. Only way to make it in master mode is to complete the master trials ASAP. But fuck that nonsense. Took me 50 tries to do the second one and 1 try to do the third. Those silver Lizaflos on the dock give me nightmares. Hollow Knight Silksong. Hollow Knight is one of the few games which have extremely high polish, a good world building, tight gameplay and amazing environmental storytelling. Add to that a discount level launch price and free DLC. If Team Cherry keeps that quality up then I will be in heaven. If Team Cherry keeps up the quality. This is the developer that was trying to make a DLC and accidentally created a full sequel. I don't think it's an if at this point. Dude, I discovered Hollow Knight like 2 days ago. I haven't done anything else since then. Awesome game. And I'm normally not a big fan of platformers. If you like Hollow Knight, it's worth taking a look at Ori and the Blind Forest. Whilst Ori isn't directly similar, I've always heard of comparisons between the two. Also, the second Ori game, Will of the Wisps, released earlier this year, and has even more comparisons to Hollow Knight. You don't really need to play the first to be able to play the second, but it is a sequel. Horizon Zero Dawn 2. I'd have to say the first was my absolute favorite game. I can't wait to see where the story goes next. There's a sequel planned. Edit, I'm very informed now, thanks for the answers guys and gals. Yes, it's Horizon 1 Dawn and Horizon 2 Dawn. A trilogy, actually they gonna make 2 more I think.